If your manifestation still isn't showing up, it's likely because your subconscious is stuck affirming the wrong timeline on autopilot. It's not about the moments when you're journaling, meditating, or watching videos like this. It's about the way you wake up each day, thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same emotions, and reacting as if nothing has changed. Your subconscious keeps anchoring you to the version of yourself who doesn't yet have what you desire, and that's the reality it continues to recreate. Since your identity is wired deeply into your subconscious, the only way to shift timelines is to reprogram that inner self-image to reflect the version of you who already has it. And today I'm going to show you a powerful way to fix that, not with more affirmations, but by giving you a simple practice that helps reassign your subconscious identity to the timeline where your manifestation is already done, because the thing is, you don't have a manifestation problem. If you're not manifesting what you want with ease, you have a misidentified self-image that your subconscious mind keeps protecting, and today we're going to retire that old version of you. If you followed this channel for any length of time, you may already know that your subconscious mind doesn't create based on what you want, it creates based on who you think you are not. Consciously, but deep down in that place where your habits, reactions, and assumptions live, it holds on to that identity because it believes it's keeping you safe, predictable, familiar, even if that identity is the version of you who never quite gets what they want. That's why you can say all of the right affirmations, visualize perfectly, do all of the right manifestation steps, but if your self-image, or what some call the self-concept, still quietly believes you're someone who's waiting, hoping, or unsure, that's the timeline your subconscious will continue to select. Your experience of reality doesn't manifest from your desires, it manifests from your defaults, and it's all based on what's in your mind and field of perception, and that's what we need to change. To manifest different results, not just what you're thinking about your manifestation, but who you're being about it, who you're allowed to become now that the old identity no longer fits. You see, your brain isn't manifesting your life based on what's real, it's actually manifesting based on what it thinks is real. It doesn't process direct reality, it processes signals. Internal electrical interpretations of what you've accepted as true. Your brain doesn't make physical contact with the outside world, it's locked inside your skull, surrounded by darkness. Everything you see, hear, feel, smell, and taste, it's all translated by electrical signals moving through your nervous system, filtered through your past experiences, your emotional memory, and your deeply embedded identity. So what you call reality isn't objective at all, it's actually a rendered version of the world, one that matches what your subconscious already believes is true, and over time those beliefs form the equivalent of invisible barriers blocking you from seeing the full range of options, possibilities, and paths that were always there but couldn't be perceived through the lens of an old identity. In other words, you're not limited by what's available to you. You're only limited by what your subconscious mind is programmed to notice. So what this means is this: your external world doesn't need to change, first your internal interpreter does, because when you shift your subconscious identity, you don't just think differently, you begin to see differently, and then experience life differently. Entire opportunities, connections, and solutions that were once invisible, blocked by those subconscious barriers, suddenly become obvious. They manifest if you will, and although it appears magical, and it is, we call it neuroplasticity, your brain rewiring in real time to reflect a new chosen version of you. And here's the catch: the brain doesn't just update automatically, it follows the path of least resistance, which means it defaults to the identity that you've practiced the most, that version of you, the one shaped by repeated thoughts, familiar emotions, conditioned posture, and behavior, becomes the translator through which all signals are interpreted. And that's why manifestation can feel frustrating sometimes, because you're trying to create new results while your subconscious mind is still running an old identity that insists that nothing has changed. And I know this from personal experience and from coaching thousands of people how to work through this. So here's the good news: this loop is not fixed, it's just a program, and programs can be rewritten when you interrupt the signal and assign a new identity as the default interpreter of your reality. Everything begins to shift, and it doesn't actually have to be gradual. In fact, your brain begins rewiring the moment your perception does, even when you're watching a video like this. So to get better results, we essentially stop thinking like the self that we've known and start building new neural evidence for the one that we've chosen. If this is clicking for you, let me know in the comments. Tell me what just shifted in your thinking, because the more you speak it, the more real it becomes, and the more you write it down, the more you begin to build that new evidence for your subconscious mind to work with. So now that you understand what's really been driving Your reality, let's shift it. I'm going to walk you through a simple, powerful process that helps your subconscious mind start selecting a new timeline, one that matches the version of you who already has what you're ready to manifest. First, know that your subconscious mind doesn't just store memories. It stores orientation to what's possible, to what's familiar, and to what's safe. This creates a kind of internal axis, the invisible point around which your identity rotates, and right now that axis might be pointing you toward the same choices, feelings, and results that you've always had, not because they're true, but because they're centered in your internal field. But today we're going to flip your internal compass and reset the axis that your reality has been rotating around. You're going to shift the entire gravitational field of your subconscious mind and make it reject the identity that's been selecting the wrong timeline. We're going to show it in the language that it speaks, that your center of power has shifted and your subconscious mind doesn't care what's true, it only cares what's felt repeatedly and vividly enough. So let's get started. To begin this practice, get into a place where you're not going to be disturbed for a few moments. And then just close your eyes so we can tap into your visual field. And with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine a 360 degrees field of subtle energy around you, like you're standing at the center of a soft inner compass. And if you have trouble visualizing images, it's okay, just get a feeling or a sense of this. Now I want you to tune in a bit. On one end of the compass is the familiar pull, the version of you shaped by old patterns, maybe delays, possibly a little doubt. On the other end is something different, still you, but more expansive, more magnetic, more aligned, and all ranges of possibilities are in between. So with your eyes closed, just scan this internal compass and just notice where your energy is subtly leaning on this scale. You don't have to label it, just locate it, and your mind will instinctively give you the answer to this. So just notice what comes up first, and now maybe you can notice how your awareness is focused on this direction in your internal compass. But it doesn't have to be. You can actually choose any direction that you'd like on this compass. You can choose something more powerful, more confident, and more aligned with the you who creates what they want naturally. But first, we're going to untether the connection that keeps you in the familiar direction in a way that your subconscious mind understands. So I want you to imagine this, visualize an invisible cord, a very thin, worn-out kind of cord stretching from your chest to that direction that's been so familiar. This cord has been tying you to an outdated version of you, an older version, possibly one shaped by fear or old habits or even survival. But again, that thread is worn and old. It's been around since you've been around, and you only have to choose something new now. So take one slow, deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine a pair of scissors in your hand, and with one graceful motion, cut this cord. And see the cord fall to the ground, and allow yourself a moment to feel the release and the space that's been created by doing this. That place on the internal compass in your mind no longer has access to your identity now, and this gives you the freedom to make a new choice, anything you'd like. So now you may gently rotate your body to a new direction, one that feels expansive, magnetic, self-led. Remember that on this 360 degrees compass that surrounds you, all possibilities are available. All versions of you, all identities, they're all in front of you. So with your awareness still at the center of this inner compass, ask yourself, what do I choose to orient toward? Now what feeling, what identity, what reality am I ready to tether to? And maybe you can notice some directions with more possibilities, and just let the compass respond for you. Look at all the options available. You have all of them right in front of you, and it's just simply a choice. And in your mind's eye, you might see a point of light glowing in front of you on one of these possibilities, a space that feels like it's where you belong, or you might feel a magnetic pull toward a specific possibility. Just let that new direction light up on the dial for you now. And now use your mind to generate a gravitational pull between you and this space. You may want to visualize a magnetic field expanding from your chest to create this image in your mind, and remember that the subconscious mind moves toward vivid emotional energy. So activate that now with your gravitational field, and when you sense it, feel this gravitational pull drawing you towards space and your newfound freedom. Here, no longer tethered to the old identity. And if you'd like, you can reach forward with your hand and touch that point on the compass, that light that's lit up for you, and use your mind now to see that as your fingers make contact, the compass responds. It might be a soft pulse or a flash of light, or maybe just a quiet vibration beneath your palm. Just use whatever your mind gives you here. And again, if you can't see images, well, just sense it and feel it. And maybe as you do, you can feel this new identity and its gravitational pull becoming even stronger. drawing behaviors, beliefs, people, and timelines towards it that align perfectly with the new you and the new life that you're now embodying. And now maybe you can visualize how a new cord begins to form from this space. How your internal compass is giving it to you a radiant, strong, new golden thread, much thicker than the last one, flowing from your new chosen direction and identity straight into your heart. Center, not to bind you, because you can always change this whenever you choose, but to connect you here for now. This is your new tether, powerful, intelligent, and alive, and it carries the emotional code, the identity, the orientation of the version of you who lives this truth, and your subconscious mind now knows this is your new signal and your new direction, and maybe you can even feel how your internal compass just recalibrated and feel the powerful emotions that are created from this and the confidence that now fills you from this new space. And now in this heightened state of newfound power that you have, and just to solidify this in your mind, let's go ahead and anchor it into your body, and you can do this by choosing a physical action like raising your shoulders just a bit, or pressing your feet onto the floor a little harder, or even pressing two of your fingers together. You can really just choose any simple physical action that resonates with you while you're doing this and feeling so empowered in this state. And you can even add a trigger phrase to this if you'd like to make it even more solidified, like my new identity is now locked in, or I live from this space now. And once you have that locked in, just know that you can return to that physical anchor or your phrase whenever the old feelings arise, or if you happen to notice that you're operating from the old self, and it will instantly pull this new identity and state up for you, because your subconscious mind has now stored it for you. And the more you do this, the more it becomes your dominant state. And the more it becomes your dominant state, the more your outer world will begin to reflect these new choices, behaviors, and emotions as your outer world experience in the form of what you choose to manifest. So just before opening your eyes, I want you to know that you now operate your life from power and choice, not programming. For most people, this exercise flips something inside of them. Pretty quickly, they find that the old version loosens its grip completely, quite possibly for the first time ever, and something new gets locked into place. And now you may open your eyes, seeing through the lens of this new you. And if you felt this shift, let me know in the comments. You can even use your trigger phrase, my new identity is now locked in, or I live from this space now, or whatever you chose for yourself, to make it even more concrete and real to your subconscious mind. And if enough of you want this and ask for it, I'll turn this into a full hypnosis track that anchors this shift even deeper into your subconscious mind. So let me know that in the comments as well. What you just experienced is more than just a mental shift. It's actually a symbolic act of emotional reorientation. Your subconscious mind responds best to vivid imagery, movement, and meaning and feeling states. And the moment you cut that old cord and connected something more aligned, it received the message, this is who I am now, and it listened. And if this helped you shift today, come back to this as often as you need. As I said earlier, the subconscious mind loves to use repetition to create a dominant state. So every time you do this, you reinforce the identity and the self-image that aligns with what you now choose. And if this spoke to something deep in you and you're ready to take this kind of transformation even further, I've left something for you in the pinned comment that can help you do exactly that, because you were never meant to stay tethered to that version of you that only knows how to survive. You're here to lead, to choose, and to shift timelines at will.